What's up, guys? Got a video for you today. This is the FMA replica of the S&S Precision Scout Mount. As you can see, it is in a tan metallic color, or a flat dark earth, whichever you would prefer to call it. Very nice replica. I'm very impressed with the trademarks on it and the overall build quality of the mount itself. It is currently mounted to a Element M600C Scout Light. Show you the trademarks on the other side here. And as you may have noticed, I do have a strip of loop Velcro on the bottom. The screws for the Scout mount are kind of right here under the Velcro. And the reason I added loop Velcro was to kind of give a buffer or a cushion to sit against the rail, because as I mounted it on my Mark 18 rail, it kind of wobbled back and forth, and adding this loop Velcro, it gives me a very solid mount. To install it, there are Allen heads on either side here, and as you screw or unscrew these, it'll cause the little hooks here to move forward or back. One thing I'll usually do is I'll set this the back screw to the position that I want it to, and then all I'll have to do is tighten the front screw to mount it to my Mark 18. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Here's my Mark 18 upper, and as you can see, the Daniel defense rail kind of has a raised lip there, or a ridge, kind of a corner, and that's the reason I added the loop Velcro, because the mount would want to kind of rock back and forth on that lip. So adding the loop Velcro definitely fixes that. I'm not sure if 416 users have the same issue, as this mount does work for 416 rails as well, and probably fit other rails, I'm not sure, but so far I know it works for 416s and the Daniel defense rails. So as you can kind of see, kind of has some scratches where I mounted it previously. So those are the holes that I used to mount it. And what I'll do first is I'll kind of hook this back hook in, and then on the front, you'll kind of want to make sure, let's see if I can get a good angle on that. Make sure that the front hook, it's kind of hard to see because it mounts so close to the rail, but you want to make sure that the front hook kind of slides into the hole there. As you can see, it did. And then the only thing that I do now is I'll tighten the front screw there. And as I tighten this, I'm kind of pulling the M600C down so that it sits on the lower edge of that corner that I showed you on the rail, because that gives me a nice solid mount and it doesn't wobble after I tighten it. So yeah, once it's nice and tight, you want to check your light to see if it wobbles, and it doesn't. And then you'll want to plug it in. And as you can see, it sits very close to the rail and kind of gets in the way of the PEC 15, though I do still have enough clearance to move the cover here and still have the M600C mounted pretty far forward, because I do have the PEC 15 mounted pretty far back. Very low profile mount. I'm a huge fan of it. Another update is the dual switch that I use. I cut the rail grabbers off and kind of sanded the edges down so that it fits in between the 12 and 9 o'clock rails there. I find it very nice to use with the AFG. Another great thing about running a Scout offset up here is, before with the AFG, my fingers would kind of rub against the screw, and the screw for the stock Scout mount kind of had some sharp edges, and I don't really have that anymore. It's a very comfortable grip now. I'll try to show you how close the M600C kind of fits on the rail here. As you can see, it fits very, very tight against the rail. Big fan of this mount. I didn't think I would be, but I'm glad I did. It's a very cheap mount too. I believe most places you can get it for about $17 to $20 shipped. I believe that is from Asia. I believe Airsoft Peak sells them. So if you're interested in the FMA mount, I would definitely check there. It is the replica of the SNS Precision Scout mount. Thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe.